status in the ACP floor.
The African Caribbean Pacific ACP Parliamentary Assembly, sitting in Nairobi, Kenya on Friday, continued with a debate on the proposal to reinstate presidential term limits as advocated for by the European Union. The meeting was a follow-up of an earlier debate on Wednesday where members failed to agree on the common position on the touchy subject. The Deputy Speaker of Uganda's Parliament, Jacob Oulanyah, again put up a spirited fight in favor of no term limits for presidents, calling for the suspension of the entire debate.
I don't see anything in the rules of procedure here, so I want to know exactly what is the procedure and where the procedure is to be found that the motion cannot be withdrawn.
We cannot be sitting here just to look good before other people and do things that are not right for us. Lawrence has clearly stated that in the procedure there is no prohibition. What is not prohibited in law is allowed.
There is no time for the Bureau to consider that motion of withdrawal. Practically, that is impossible. So, in short, the motion cannot be withdrawn.
Oulanyah, who is leading Uganda's delegation, further informed the Assembly that the decision to support the EU's demands will be undermining the will of the people who vote for their presidents.
It is about the power of the people. It is about the will of the people.
Term limits, yes. But it's not to the extent that if you don't have it, you cannot. Angela Merkel is going for the 4th term.
His argument was met by resentment by MPs from Ghana and Nigeria, who argue that reinstating presidential term limits will eliminate dictators.
It should be noted that we cannot step down this thing, and if we talk about voting, some of us are going to vote with the European Parliament because we need to strengthen democracy.
Tempers flared as some views on the matter were expressed, and some members walked out of the room. The MPs will now have to vote on the matter when they interface with the European Union delegation next week Wednesday. Meanwhile, the Assembly also weighed in on the current situation in Gambia, where President Yahya Jammeh went back on his earlier position on the presidential elections. Jammeh lost to opposition leader Adama Barrow. The delegation from Gambia also updated the Assembly on the current situation in their country.
The President of the Supreme Islamic Council have advised him to concede defeat and hand over power peacefully.
Several leaders called for tough action against President Jammeh if he fails to respect the will of the people.
We do not go back to the days when there was this so-called power sharing, in which the loser held on to power only to be given a compromise situation in which he's allowed to remain president.
Herbert Ziwa, NTV, Nairobi, Kenya.